The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, America. It is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and I have had my morning hit of pure oxygen. My coffee is black enough to satisfy a coal baron, and I am ready to absolutely set the news cycle on fire. I'm broadcasting from the Pentagon in Manhattan, looking down at a Central Park that still hasn't recovered from the last frost, and I'm joined by the sentient Twitter feed herself, Maya Thorne.
Okay, but barely. My screen time hit 6 hours before I even got out of bed. It's giving the Empire's collapsing in 4K vibes today, Julian. No, literally. The timeline is a horror movie.
It's an action-packed show today, folks. Yesterday, we were shouting about that 45-day DHS shutdown, which is still a complete and utter circus of legislative deadlock, and the Iran war hitting its 30-day mark with oil prices reaching heights that would make a sheik blush. But today, we've got a massive lineup. From the Pentagon's aesthetic purge of black and female officers to the DOJ's great declination and the main event, the 50-story golden tower that is Trump's new presidential library.
It's a whole villain arc in skyscraper form.
It is absurd, Maya. Let's start with the Pentagon, because this is where the institutional arson really starts to smell. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who treats the military like he's casting a sequel to Top Gun, is now stopping promotions. We're talking high-ranking officers. Nonpartisan boards vetted these people, and he just crosses them out.
Wait.
No, seriously. According to The Advocate and the Hindustan Times, international news is picking this up before our own cable nets. 6 high-ranking officers were blocked from becoming one-star generals. 4 were black men and 2 were women. Especially Colonel Antoinette Gant, a black female officer with a record that most generals look like they're playing with toy soldiers. And the reason they blocked her? Hegseth's chief of staff reportedly said President Trump would not want to appear next to her at public events. Can you believe that? We aren't picking leaders based on tactical brilliance anymore. We're picking them based on whether they look good in a Truth Social selfie with the dear leader.
No, literally. It's major NPC energy from the administration. Like, your character model doesn't match the cinematic style of the commander-in-chief. High-key racist, low-key terrifying. And honestly, it's not just the military, Julian.
Look.
No, let me lead this one because I've been getting into the DOJ numbers all morning. ProPublica just dropped a bombshell about the Great Declination. This is the erosion of accountability we keep talking about. Attorney General Pam Bondi has basically turned the DOJ into an ethics-free zone. They've quietly closed 23,000 criminal investigations in the last 6 months.
Wait, shut up, 23,000?
But literally. And it's not just petty stuff. We're talking hundreds of probes into terrorism, white-collar fraud, drug cartels. They even dropped over 900 cases of federal procurement fraud. You know, the people stealing from the taxpayers.
Oh, spare me.
But here's the twist. They didn't just fire the staff and go home. They redirected all those resources to prosecute 32,000 new immigration cases. They tripled the volume. So while the guys defrauding the Pentagon are walking free, they've got a full court press on people picking strawberries in Salinas. It's a total vibe shift from law and order to order the law around.
It's the demolition of the soul of America. They're hollowing out the Department of Justice so they can use it as a weapon for their interior enforcement fantasies. But before we get into the human cost of that crackdown, I have to mention the sponsor that makes this possible.
Right.
Look, independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
Seriously, support the grind, because the corporate algorithms are literally hiding the next story I want to talk about, the Cesar Chavez reckoning. Today is technically Chavez Day, but it's essentially become a day of mourning for the labor movement.
It's a tragedy, Maya, truly.
It's more than that. It's a total collapse of an icon. The New York Times investigation just confirmed decades of alleged sexual abuse and grooming. And then the co-founder of the UFA, Dolores Huerta, she's 95 now. She released a statement saying he raped and impregnated her twice. She kept it a secret for 60 years to protect the movement.
Okay, that is harrowing.
It's high-key villain era for a legend. California has already renamed the holiday Farm Workers' Day. They're taking down statues in Denver and Fresno as we speak, and it's fueling this massive debate about labor and identity, which brings me to Rahm Emanuel's latest Fox News appearance.
Oh, Rahm, my old boy wonder. He's out here telling the Democrats they're too weak and woke.
No, literally he said, if you think the party is weak and woke, there's nothing about Rahm Emanuel that says weak and woke. It's giving major please notice me energy. And Axios is reporting that Democratic donors are quietly pushing for a straight white Christian man at the top of the ticket because they think the country isn't ready for a woman or a minority.
And let me tell you, Maya, they might be right. I'm telling you, as a man who has run these rooms, you have to de-risk the ticket when the other side is running a cult of personality. Sometimes you need a safe vessel for the ideas.
Okay, no, literally stop. That is so mid, Julian. That's high-key cowardice disguised as strategy. You're basically saying we should surrender the entire point of the party, which is progress and representation, just to appeal to people who already hate us?
It's not about surrender. It's about winning the sport of politics. You can't enact policies if you're shouting from the sidelines because your candidate didn't pass a vibe check in the Rust Belt.
But winning with a candidate who represents a rollback on our values isn't winning. It's just managed decline. You're essentially agreeing with Rahm that identity doesn't matter, but you're only saying that for the one identity that already has all the power. It's a flop era for Democratic strategy, for real.
Maya, you're looking at it through the lens of a viral clip.
Right.
I'm looking at it through the lens of 51% of the Electoral College. We need a fighter who can steal the strength narrative back from Trump. Which leads me to the main event, the 50-story skyscraper in Miami.
The Donald J. Trump Presidential Library. No, literally, it's not a library. It's a final boss fortress.
It is absurd. 50 stories of gold and glass on the Miami skyline. He released a teaser video last night on Truth Social. Did you see the renders? The spire has a red, white, and blue light beam that probably reaches the stratosphere.
Sigh. Okay, but the lobby. Tell them about the lobby.
I was getting there. The lobby, which should be for, books and archives, is going to house a Boeing 747-8, a $400 million jet gifted from Qatar. He's literally parking a private airliner in a public library.
Right.
And the Golden Escalator, a centerpiece tribute to his 2015 campaign. It leads up to a 90,000 square foot ballroom because apparently the one he's building at the White House, the one for which he demolished the East Wing in 2025, was not enough for his ego. It is the hollowing out of a legacy. Most presidents build a modest archive. He's building a monument to narcissism. And you know who gave him the land? Governor Ron DeSantis. They gifted him a 3-acre plot in downtown Miami that belonged to Miami-Dade College. They literally took land from a university to give it to a man who doesn't read.
It's the icon on the skyline narrative, and it's working, Julian. Look at the GOP succession struggle. J.D. Vance is the heir apparent, but Marco Rubio is surging because he's leading the charge on the Iran war.
Rubio is the smarter version of Trumpism. He's the one the donors want. And that tower is basically a flagpole for whichever one of them can bow the lowest to the king. Breath. And while this gold tower is going up, federal research funding is in a catastrophic collapse. We're trading cancer research and climate data for a skyscraper with a cutter jet in the lobby.
It's giving Dark Ages vibes. We're literally defunding the future to pay for a monument to the past. It's the most chuggy use of a superpower's resources I've ever seen.
It is reprehensible. We are watching the privatization of the American presidency, from the DOJ dropping fraud cases to the Army helicopters flying over Kid Rock's house. Did you see that investigation?
The Army literally confirmed it. Army helicopters used for a private party flyover for Kid Rock in Tennessee.
It's a prop department. The U.S. military is now a prop department for Republican celebrities. They won't promote Antoinette Gant because she doesn't look the part, but they'll burn thousands of dollars in fuel to fly over a rock star's backyard for the vibes.
No, literally, it's a casting call, Julian. The whole government is a casting call. From the generals to the DOJ to the straight white guy the Democrats are looking for. Everyone is just trying to find a costume that fits the new era.
Breath, look. That's why we're here, to point out that the emperor has no clothes, and the ones he does have are made of overpriced gold leaf. Pause. We've covered a lot today. The purge of the Pentagon, the DOJ's great declination, the tragic fall of Cesar Chavez, and the Golden Tower in Miami.
It was a lot. High-key need a nap after this one.
No naps. We have to keep an eye on Rubio's surge and the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that's gutting Medicaid to pay for no tax on tips. It's a shell game, Maya, and the only way to win is to keep your eyes on the hands.
Bet. I'll be on the timeline tracking the ratio.
I'm sure you will. For Maya Thorne, I'm Julian Archer. Thank you for joining us in the Panopticon. Stay sharp, stay loud, and for God's sakes, stay human.
Catch you in the comments. Don't get blocked.